Hey, it's me, Vicki Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So for today's crazy case, the crazy case that I'm going to talk about in this video, we're in the UK. We are in Essex. Now imagine getting to the age of respectively of 70 and 71 and then being murdered by your own daughter, who then lived with your dead bodies in the house for 4 years. So this is what happened to John McCullough and his wife Lois McCullough. John was 70, Lois was 71. And their daughter, Virginia McCullough, 36, murdered them and then lived in their house in Chelmsford, Essex, with their bodies for 4 whole years. Let's chat. So, gosh, just when you think you've heard it all, something else comes up, doesn't it? So we're going to Chelmsford in Essex for this case. This is a very recent case. The trial has just finished, and some CCTV has been released of the arrest of Virginia. And I just want to give you a bit of a trigger warning, because you will be amazed by her demeanour. This girl or woman, 36 years old, just has, there's something wrong with her. Well, obviously there's something wrong with her if she murdered her parents, I suppose you could say. But the fact that you could live for 4 years with the bodies of your parents, just carry on life as if everything was normal. That's even worse than the murder itself, isn't it? Anyway, we're going to have a little look into this case. So this is where it happened, Chelmsford in Essex, in the south of the UK. For those of you who know anything about, some of the cases we've been covering in true crime, of course, Essex is where Nicola Bulley was originally born. Basildon here is where Nicola Ray went missing from, another missing lady that she has not been found, still has not been found to this day. So we've been around this area a couple of times for various cases. Essex is just sort of on the outskirts of London, in the south of the UK, south of England. Yeah, this is where Nicola was born, I think. Nicola Bulley was born in South Woodham Ferrers. So yeah, we've been over this way a couple of times, and today we are there again in Chelmsford. Now, let's see what happened. So we're talking about a girl. I keep calling her a girl, but she's a girl. She's only 36. That seems young, prime of her life, actually. Your 30s, they're good years, aren't they? You've sort of got through your adolescence, you've got through your 20s. By the time you get to 30, normally you sort of know a little bit more. You're a little bit more maybe confident in your life, etc. I don't know. Maybe you're finding some direction in your life by then. I'm just really talking individually. That's how I felt. I think the 30s were the best years. I mean, I always think of every year, every morning that I wake up is good, but I think the 30s, that's when I had my son, various things. I mean, there were various traumas as well, but that's when I came to live in Spain. Various things happened in my 30s that I just think it was a good time for me. Maybe it's not the same for other people. But basically, Virginia poisoned her father, John. So her poor father, John, let me see if I can get some pictures up, because it's not been easy to find pictures. So the first, apparently, what they think is, or I think it's true, because she has cooperated. Let's see if I can find some photos to show you. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to put all the pictures. I'm just going to leave you with this while I load up. Just going to leave you with these pictures while I just load up the photos on the video, and we're going to look at the arrest video, the police arrest video from Essex Police. So this is Virginia. Looks perfectly normal, doesn't she? Apart from her roots could do with a touch up. She's been just living normally for 4 years, and all the time her poor parents were actually there in her home, deceased. Right, I'm going to load up a picture of her parents, because I think that's important. We want to look at them. They're the victims. We always want to remember the victims, don't we? They're the important people. So then, do you know what? The victims are always the people that don't get to tell their story, aren't they? And the perpetrator in a murder, they're left to say whatever they like. I mean, I don't know why Virginia said she did it. Maybe we'll find out in a minute when we look at the articles. Maybe she'll say that she was abused. Maybe she'll say they were terrible parents. And the problem with that is, because although maybe they were, they still did not deserve what happened to them. Nobody deserves to be murdered. That's not the way to deal with. If you've got a grievance against somebody, you go to the authorities, you try and do something about it. You don't murder them. Just awful, isn't it? And I just think the thought, I mean, her father, she killed him by prescription medication, apparently, John. So maybe he didn't know anything about it, but she stabbed her mother, Lois, who was 71. So she would have known about it. But they're not here to tell their stories, so it's important that we tell their stories for them, isn't it? One way or another, that they get a voice, at least to listen to what happened to them, because they were important. Their life counted just as everybody's life counts. Nobody's life is more important than anybody else's life. And this woman, their own daughter, murdered them. Just it sort of defeats belief, doesn't it, really? You sort of end up being completely incredulous with these kind of things. So yeah, so she's now been jailed. She's been jailed after murdering both of them, living with their bodies in the family home for 4 years. So she's 36. She poisoned her father, John, who was 70, with prescription medication before stabbing her mother, Lois, 71, in the chest at their home in Chelmsford, Essex. So Lois, bless her, would have been completely aware of what was happening to her. So their deaths happened sometime in June 2019, but their bodies were not discovered until 2023, when their GP raised concerns about missed appointments. So thank God the GP was on the ball. And in that time, Virginia had hidden their remains and continued to live there. She'd built a makeshift tomb for her father, while she'd told friends and neighbours they had moved away, were unwell, or had gone on lengthy trips. So she's been sentenced to a life term, but I don't think it's enough sentence. She's been sentenced to a life term with a minimum of 36 years. So when she comes out, if she gets parole immediately, and of course I expect there'll be an appeal, 72 she will be, so she still has some life left in her, unlike the life that she denied her parents. They're in their twilight years. They had the right to live out there. The thought of getting to that age and then being brutally murdered, it's just not right, is it? Especially for the stabbing of her mother. Maybe she hated her parents. Well, move out, get a job. You're 36 years old. What was she doing still living with her parents anyway? Get out, get a life, get a job, get your own place. You don't like your parents, don't live off them, then murder them, then live in their house. Probably whinge about their treatment of her. She's like typical, oh, it just makes me angry, this, because you know what? You want to get out of your parents' house because your parents are so terrible. Just go then, make your own life, and don't bloody be a parasite. So she was sentenced to 36 years, minimum 36 years. She pled guilty to 2 counts of murder at Chelmsford Crown Court in July. And she apparently confessed moments after the police were called to the family home following the report from the GP. We're going to look at the body cam footage of the arrest, which shows the police forcing entry into the property before confronting her in a hallway. And she is almost nonchalant in this footage. So I just want to warn you, because it will surprise you, her behaviour. I'm just looking here on Sky News. There's another picture here there of the parents. So let's have a look at that. So Lois and John, rest in peace. Just awful. So when asked by the police, she said, "My dad's body is in there." And then the officer asked, "What about your mum?" And she replied, "That's a little bit more complicated. Upstairs there are about 5 wardrobes. It's behind the bed at the back next to the sink. It's the second one." And in reference to the arrest, she told officers, "I did know that this would sort of come eventually. It's proper that I serve my punishment." She also said, "Cheer up, at least you caught the bad guy." She then told them where the murder weapon was, referencing the knife she used to stab her mother. She said, "It's in the middle under the stairs. It will still have blood on it. It's rusted, but it will still have blood traces on it." Essex police said documents found at the address built a picture of a woman who was trying desperately to keep her parents from discovering the depth of the financial black hole she continued to dig, while giving them false assurances about her employment and future prospects. Detective Superintendent Rob Kirby described McCullough as someone who lied about almost every aspect of her life. She's like a female Stephen Stearns, isn't she? She's like the female version of Stephen Stearns, who did the same, lied. I think his parents must be relieved that he is in prison now. I've said that right from the beginning. 1, they could get in his room and clear it out. 2, they don't have to worry about him maybe doing something to them, because he was going and stealing from them, lying to them. There's no limit to what Stephen Stearns might have done. These people, they hide under this veneer, don't they? But this parasitical sort of lifestyle, not wanting to do anything for themselves. So he said that McCullough had been maintaining a charade to deceive everyone close to her and clearly taking advantage of her parents' goodwill. She's an intelligent manipulator who chose to kill her parents callously without a thought for them or those who continue to suffer as a result of their loss. I mean, just look at her face there, like, oh yeah, butter wouldn't melt, butter wouldn't melt. She's got echoes of Lucy Letby for me. Homemade mausoleum. Prosecutor told the court that the McCullough built a makeshift tomb for her father, which was covered with multiple blankets and a number of pictures and paintings over the top. It was also described in court as a homemade mausoleum and was on a ground floor room which had been her father's bedroom and study, composed with masonry blocks stacked together. McCullough concealed the body of her mother wrapped in a sleeping bag within a wardrobe in her mother's bedroom on the top floor of the property. While in the dock, McCullough began to cry as the prosecution read out an account she gave to officers where she described the moments before she killed her mother. She said she just looked so innocent with her back turned against the wall. She was listening to the radio. She wasn't doing anything. McCullough also told police she had to build up gumption to kill her mother, as I knew I had to get it done. Oh, well, nobody's going to care about her now. She took away the lives of probably the only people who cared about her. Nobody else is going to care about her. And you know what? She should have used some of that money that she was doing. I mean, was she carrying on collecting their pension and things like that? Probably. She should have used it to get her roots done. State of her. Gosh, I'm starting to get angry now because, even, we've all got issues with our parents. I think I had a lot of issues with my parents, but when I look back now and how at least I got the thought of doing some harm to them, much as I might have resented them at times, and there's things that I wasn't happy with when I was younger, and now of course I understand a lot more. But the thought of actually hurting them, and at the end of the day, whatever, they were always the ones. If you needed money, they would give me some money, or we used to have this sort of elastic £5 between. I used to have to give £5 keep once I started work. I had to give my parents from 16. I had to give them £5 a week keep. But I mean, it was like on elastic, because I'd give them that maybe on Friday, and on Monday I was borrowing it back, off my dad. And then Friday I'd pay it back, and then Monday I'd borrow it back again. They're always there. I remember things like, the things they do. I remember my dad getting on a bus to come and get me from my sister's because there'd been a problem there with her partner. And my dad got on 2 buses actually and travelled halfway across Manchester to come and get me because I had no money and he had no car. He never had a car. Just things like that. These are things that your parents will do for you. You bailed me out of more scrapes, especially sort of financial ones, silly things that you do when you're young. And yeah, this is what your parents will do for you. And she murdered them. I bet they bailed her out of a load of scrapes, just like Stephen Stern's entitled. She's entitled. You can just tell by looking at her face. Anyway, let's have a look at the body cam. Let's see. I think it's on the Essex Police website where it's on. Let's see. All right, we might have to. We'll watch it on Sky News. Let's find it. Here it is. So yeah, a bit of a warning because a completely nonchalant manner. And any images on here might distress you. So just to let you know.
John and Lois McCullough at Chelmsford Crown Court. She admitted to killing her parents between the 17th and 20th of June in 2019. So just a reminder, Virginia McCullough has been sentenced to life with a minimum of 36 years for murdering her parents. Her arrest was filmed by police officers wearing body cameras. We can show you some of that footage now, and I should warn you that you may find parts of it very distressing.
Yeah, now it's unusual, isn't it? You know, in the UK, we don't get, it's not like in America where you can send off for the body cam and they have to release it. In the UK, they're very reticent with body cam, as we know, and they tend to release it on the day, you know, after the trial is finished, if they're going to release it at all. Often they never release it. But. So it looks like she'd opened the door, the front door, and they still broke in through the back. But of course, they didn't know exactly what they were going to find, did they? I don't know if she voluntarily opened the door. She's like, yeah. Oh, butter wouldn't melt. I'm not a murderer, no. So she's just like, yeah. I mean, you know, she's been expecting this moment, probably. I expect if she knew it was happening that day, she would have got her roots done. Just her demeanor. That's why I'm making this video. The main reason, because when I looked at her demeanor in this video, I just thought, oh my God, you know, those poor parents. And now what she just said about her mum was just listening to the radio. Now I'm presuming she'd already killed her dad by then. Maybe her mum didn't realise what she'd given, you know, maybe she'd given her dad too many, I don't know, what did she give him, a drugs cocktail or something? And there was a poor mum listening to the radio and she stabbed her in the chest. So her mum will have been fully aware that her daughter was stabbing her in the chest, her daughter that she'd spent her life looking after, her daughter who was there living at the house like a bloody parasite. My dad's body's in there. She's saying it as if she's saying, oh, well, it looks like it's raining today.
Obviously, I'll
What about your mum?
a little bit more complicated.
Okay.
That's why I said, can I go behind the bed, but back next to the sink? That's the second one.
It's behind the bed next to the sink, the second one. She means her mother that gave birth to her, protected her all her life. God, what a horror.
I slipped 5 of those into his drink. There were about 2 or 3 drinks that I brought downstairs. And yeah, they were basically, he didn't drink all of them. He only drank probably about half of 2. But yeah, when I went in the...
Look at the guy, the policeman's face. He's probably, I tell you what, the police, they get a lot of stick, but sometimes what they have to face, it must, you know, how's your mental health after this?
Of my punishment. So, yeah.
Oh, she's just such a fucking martyr, isn't she? Excuse my French. Oh, yeah. I've got to face my punishment. Oh, God, look how fabulous I am. Oh, my God. Just made me so angry when I saw this. This is why I thought I had to share it.
Witness, please. I, Virginia McCullough, have informed police constables 77329 Brown and 79387 Bowers after entering my house on Friday the 15th September 2023 that I murdered my father, John McCullough, who was stated was under a bed in the rear ground floor of the house, and my mother upstairs in a cupboard next to the sink.
Wardrobe. It's a double wardrobe.
Right, okay, I've written cupboard.
Wardrobe. It's like...
Get it right, you fucking idiot. It's not a cupboard, it's a wardrobe. Oh, my God. Just like, she's like, yeah, no, not cupboard. It's a wardrobe. It's a wardrobe, for God's sake.
4 wardrobes, but it's the one nearest the sink. Double wardrobe.
A double wardrobe?
Yeah.
What's significant as I've written down there here now, I've just read out to you. Are you happy to sign that to say that's a true account?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does she think she's going to get to stay in the house? Do you think she even realised?
At least you caught the bad guy.
I'm just waking up today and done my job. No.
Cheer off, at least you caught the bad guy.
cheer up, at least you've caught the bad guy. Smile. Oh my God. She's going to, do you know what? The unfortunate thing is, I think she's going to love being in prison. She's just look, she's going to love it, because in prison she'll be looked after like she was a parasite all her life with her parents looking after her. She's going to go to prison. She doesn't have to work. She's going to get fed. She's going to get told when she can go to because she ain't got an independent fucking thought in her head except to kill her parents. You know, she's going to love being in prison. She's going to meet some other bloody twisted weirdo in prison and form a relationship probably. She'll meet someone like that, Joanna Dennehy, or someone like that, Rose West. She's going to go to prison. She'll feel like a fucking celebrity because she's a murderer. You know, she murdered 2 old, vulnerable people, to her own parents. She doesn't give a shit, does she? She's making a joke. She's making a joke. Don't cheer up. At least you found the bad guy, caught the bad guy. What a horrible, horrible piece of work.
Cheer up, at least you caught the bad guy.
Fuck off.
I've just woken up today and done my job. No.
I don't seem
Not a lot.
100% evil, but we all, yeah.
I'm not going to comment on anything. It's not my job to comment on it, okay? Because I've got to be impartial with everything, okay? So I'm not going to give any comments.
No. Well, I mean, I deserve to obviously get whatever's coming sentence-wise, because that's the right thing to do.
I deserve whatever's coming sentence-wise. Like she did, give her a fucking treat. Give her a treat. She's like a little dog. They're like, oh, give me a treat. I deserve what's coming sentence-wise. But look how I'm just being, I'm just telling you what happened. Oh, oh my God. This is what I mean. I couldn't be a policeman. I would have hit him by now. Just like he was really good because he said, look, it's not my job to comment. She's trying to get him to comment. And he's like, no, it's not my job to comment. I just have to be impartial. She's trying, I don't know, it's like she's looking for some approval. Like I felt like she was trying to say, oh, well, we all make mistakes or we all do bad things. We shouldn't judge. Fuck off. Oh my God. Oh my God. And that guy, both of them, they're so restrained because you just want to say, well, actually, I think you're a fucking evil psychopath murdering 2 old people, your own parents. That's what you'd want to say. I bet when he got home, he had a right lot of things to say about her, or even in the police station. But you know what? You can't say it. And she's like, oh, I know. Oh, well, I deserve my punishment. Give me a treat.
And that might give me a bit of peace.
Might give her a bit of peace. Oh, well, thank God she's going to get a bit of peace because everybody cares about her peace, don't they? Oh, my God.
Also in the handbag as well, there's... and again, because you're probably going to need to know about it, there's a card in there, card one money, and that's a bank card where there's a lot of transactions that have taken place.
What's she wafting away there? Is it the smell? Is it flies or what? She's lived in that house for 4 years with 2 bodies, and now she's like, oh God, something's irritating her.
Last few years from money that pertains to my parents. So, murder weapon is upstairs in the toilet room, kitchen knife. It's in the middle of the brown carpet, against the wall, opposite the shelves. So there are 2 long white shelves. So opposite where that wall is, that's where the knife is. So the next bit is very hard to talk about. That's probably the most grisly detail. So on the ground floor, underneath the stairs, there's a few storage boxes and things. And in the middle, I think it's in one of the boxes or in a bag or something. If you want me to shush after this, it's fine. But every bit helps. You will find forensically it's helpful. There's a hammer.
Hammer? A hammer? And a knife, she points out to them as well. So she's getting upset now, but I don't think she's getting upset over her parents. I think she's getting upset now because she realises this is it. She's not going home.
I know, but I'm trying to help so you find everything. It's in the middle underneath the stairs. It will still have blood on it. It's rusted, but it will still have blood traces on it.
Oh my God.
So not cooperating is futile. Yeah. There's no point in not cooperating, there really isn't. And plus, apart from watching my eyes, you take what has come. That's the result of the point, I think. So.
God, let's watch that again. One more time. I won't comment on it this time. Sorry about the swearing, but just, sometimes you just cannot believe people. This woman just been living there for 4 years, talking to neighbours. I mean, presumably living a more or less a normal life. Did she have people round to the house? Good God. Or, was she going out? Did she have a boyfriend, girlfriend? What was her life like? 4 years. That's a long time to be God, 4 days would be too much, wouldn't it, to live in a house with 2 bodies? Just don't know, do you, what's going on? You look at all the houses, not only in the UK or not only in one country, but all over the world. How many other houses are hiding secrets like that? So this is where he is, I think. Let me just go back. Yes, that's his tomb there. Bless him. Those are fresh flowers there, I think, aren't they, in that vase? Sorry, I know I said no comment, but I wasn't going to comment, but I can see I think they're fresh flowers in there. What was she doing? Like watching the telly, cooking, eating her dinner, in the living room, or, just going by her normal life with 2 bodies in the house.
15th September 2023, that I murdered my father, John McCullough, who was stated was under a bed in the rear ground floor of the house, and my mother upstairs in a cupboard next to the sink.
Wardrobe. It's a double wardrobe.
Right, okay, I've written cupboard.
It's like 4 wardrobes, but it's the one nearest the sink. Double wardrobe.
Yeah, right. It's a wardrobe, not a cupboard.
Yeah.
What's significant, as I've written down there here now, I've just read out to you. Are you happy to sign that, to say that's a true account?
Yeah.
God, you couldn't make this shit up, could you? You could not make it up. Seriously, you could not.
Cheer off, at least you caught the bad guy.
I've just woken up today and done my job. No.
I know I don't seem
not a lot.
Evil, but we all, yeah.
I'm not going to comment on anything. It's not my job to comment on it, okay? Because I've got to be impartial with everything, okay? So I'm not going to give any comments.
No.
What's she going to say there? We all what? We all make mistakes, or we all do bad things? Is it that she was? I'm going to play that again.
Yeah. Cheer off, at least you caught the bad guy.
I've just woken up today and done my job. No.
I know I don't
not a lot.
Evil, but we all, yeah.
I'm not going to comment on anything. It's not my job to comment on it, okay? Because I've got to be impartial with everything, okay? So I'm not going to give any comments.
No. Well, I mean, I deserve to obviously get whatever's coming sentence-wise, because that's the right thing to do, and that might give me a bit of peace. Also in the handbag as well, there's and again, because you're probably going to need to know about it, there's a card in there, card one money. and that's a bank card where there's a lot of transactions that have taken place over the last few years from money that pertains to my parents. So the murder weapon is upstairs in the toilet room, kitchen knife. It's in the middle of the brown carpet, against the wall, opposite the shelves. So there are two long white shelves. So opposite where that wall is, that's where the knife is. So the next bit is very hard to talk about. That's probably the most grisly detail. So on the ground floor, underneath the stairs, there's a few like storage boxes and things. And in the middle, I think it's in one of the boxes or in a bag or something. If you want me to shush after this, it's fine. But every bit helps. You will find forensic bits helpful. There's a hammer. I know, but I'm trying to help so you find everything. It's in the middle, underneath the stairs. It will still have blood on it. It's rusted, but it will still have blood traces on it. So not cooperating is it's futile. Yeah. There's no point in not cooperating. There really isn't. And apart from watching my eyes, should take what has come. That's the resilient point, I think.
So, okay, so that's the very sad story of Lois and John McCullough murdered by their own daughter. So 36 years, minimum of 36 years, not enough in my opinion. Anyway, let me know what you think in comments. Sorry about the bit of bad language, but just came out. Okay, I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, as always, may your God go with you. Please like, and if you're not subscribed and you want to see more similar videos, please subscribe. Bye.